Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Shalini Sinha, would like to welcome all who have joined to attend webinar on NEP 2020 Implications by Sri Ram Centennial School. Before introducing the reforms, I would like to invite our dynamic Honorable Principal Ma'am to address our beautiful gathering.
Namaste. Good afternoon to all the parents and the students who have gathered and joined us for the webinar today. The topic for today's webinar is National Education Policy 2020. This is a new Education Policy 2020. So today we would be discussing, dwelling upon various aspects of this new policy. We will start with what we need to know is the foundational years. We will talk about the preparatory years and the various levels which the policy divides the education system into. Our worthy teachers who are a part of this team, they will be talking about all these stages and they will tell you everything in detail. The vision behind this policy is to develop get an education system into India, which is deeply rooted into the Indian ethos and transform India into a global knowledge superpower. The vision of this policy is also to restore to the teachers and the teaching profession the respect that they deserve in the society so that there is motivation for the teachers, more and more brains and good minds from India joining the teaching profession. Keeping these things in mind, the education policy has sought to bring about sweeping reforms and change the entire system of education, which is envisaged that would be changing it till 2040. Now we have to keep in mind that the education policy are suggestions. There are suggestions for reforms that have been put there, and it will take some time for the implementation to begin. It is proposed that the implementation would start beginning from 2022-23. Some important provisions or suggestions which are there for reforms in the policy would be implemented, and overall the entire policy would be implemented by 2040. So there is a long period of time and various rules, notifications would be coming our way, and we will be following all of these. What we really want to look into now is the part one of the National Education Policy. Part one deals with school education. It's a very comprehensive document, deals with all parts of years of education. Now we are going to talk about the school education. And here we will talk about, as I already mentioned, the initial years, the foundational years. We will also talk about the curriculum and pedagogy, which things to bring a holistic, integrated, engaging and enjoyable learning to the students. And we will see that it is bilingual. We will try to speak in English as well as in Hindi so that we are able to reach maximum number of parents. And ये नई शिक्षा नीति जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति है, इसका एक उद्देश्य है एक क्रांतिकारी बदलाव लाना हमारी शिक्षा प्रणाली में, जिससे भारत एक वैश्विक स्तर पर एक चरम शिखर पर अपना स्थान बना सके. इस उद्देश्य को प्राप्त करने के लिए कई सुझाव, कई बदलाव इस नीति में डाले गए हैं, और जहां पर भी इनका इम्पैक्ट स्कूल के साथ होता है, स्कूल एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड है, वहां इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे। हमारी टीचर्स जो अभी रेडी हैं आपके पास आके आपसे आपके सम्मुख बैठेंगी और आपको इसके सारे एस्पेक्ट्स पहलुओं के बारे में बताएंगे। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, ma'am, for your heartwarming and insightful session. I am here to tell you more about the foundation stage in NEP 20. I am sharing the screen. The spirit of the policies are: number one, age group, known as foundational stage. In this category, earlier had children from classes nursery, KG, and prep. This was known as pre-primary school. The NEP 2020 has now included classes 1 and 2. Also in foundational stage, children between the age groups of 3 years to 8 years will be part of the foundational stage under ECCE, that is Early Childhood Care and Education. Number two, focus. The early years in a child's life are very important since 90% of brain development has already taken place by the time a child is 6 years. The development of the brain is influenced not only by health, nutrition, and quality of care, but also the quality of social environment the child grows up in. Now, I hand over the platform to Archana ma'am to tell you more about the foundation stage.
Very good afternoon, dear parents. I'm Archana Mishra, teacher at SRCS Patna, and I will be sharing some aspects of the foundational stage under the National Education Policy 2020. So, as already mentioned by Shalini ma'am, the foundational stage is very crucial in a child's educational life. A child needs to have a strong start to his or her educational career. So for this, generally in India, the parents they tend to send their children to a nearby play school when the child is in the age group of 3 or 4. उन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि अभी बच्चा छोटा है तो उसको कोई दूर के अच्छे स्कूल में भेजने की अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है, कहीं पास में ही भेजते हैं. And when the child attains the age of 6, that is when the parents actually start thinking of sending their children to a better school. But this should change because the early childhood, that is from age group 3 to 6, that is very important for a child's development, and it's also very important for the child's learning in future. So as you can see on the screen, in the formative years, the children, they learn about the alphabets, the shapes, numbers, art, craft, music, behavior, and emotional development is also there. So it's very important for the parents to realize this, and in SRCS also, before the pre-primary, we have kindergarten. So here the learning is play based and activity based in this stage. So it's very important. Now we have to see that what shift is required in pre-primary and grades 1 and 2. So first is that the trend of downward extension of primary curriculum to pre-primary classes should be curbed. इसका मतलब ये है कि parents who want their children to learn the curriculum, the syllabus of class 1 and 2 in the pre-primary stage, that should not be there because it causes extreme stress to the learners. In the early childhood, the learning should be play-based and activity-based. And here at SRCS, in the kindergarten, as I said, the learning is play-based, where we integrate learning education with dancing, singing, sketching, indoor and outdoor games. Next is medium of instruction. So medium of instruction has to be bilingual. So here in SRCS, we primarily communicate with the children in English. But if we feel कि बच्चे को कोई concept ज़्यादा बेहतर हिंदी में समझ आएगा, then we also use Hindi as a medium of instruction. Then content to be not formal teaching of 3 hours, but help child to develop interest in learning the meaning of them. Now, what are 3 hours of education? 3 hours of education are reading, writing, and arithmetic. So, at this stage, the parents, the teaching should be play-based and activity-based, as I've already mentioned. So, we'll see that how at SRCS we inculcate these skills in the children. We'll move to the next slide. So here you can see this is what we follow here in our school. We help the children to become independent readers by grade 2, and this is also one of the provisions under the new education policy. So first of all, we try to create a bonding with books. The children, they are taught to create and communicate a bond with the books. So how do we do that? First of all, the teacher provides maximum support by reading text that is usually beyond the student's level. Then the student's role is just to listen and engage with the text at this stage. Next comes shared reading. In shared reading, there is interactive reading that occurs when students share the reading of a book while guided and supported by a teacher. Next stage is guided reading, where students read the text with teacher's guidance side by side. And the final stage is independent reading, where the students read familiar or easy texts without any guidance of the teacher. Now, one more important aspect in early childhood is developing numeracy skills in the children. So, developing numeracy skills in the early years gives children a foundation for their learning and development. It prepares them for daily life, including general problem solving and handling of money also in future. So, maths का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि सिर्फ हम 1 2 3 4 ये गिनती सीख लिए तो मैथ्स हो गया. It's not like that. At this early childhood stage, the children, they should understand the concept of numbers rather than just remembering the counting and all. So how do we do that? Here in our school, we talk about maths. We believe that maths is everywhere, on the playground, at home, at shops. So we talk about maths. Now, how do we do that? We use specific terms. For example, we ask the child that please give me a piece of chalk, 1 piece of chalk or 2 pieces of chalk. Or at home also, you can ask the child, please give me 1 liter of milk from the fridge. Or while cooking also, you can discuss about measurements like 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon or 1 cup of milk. Then learning to say numbers can also begin with a favorite song or a favorite rhyme of the child. And we incorporate counting in everyday activities also. For example, please cut the fruit into 6 pieces, or we can ask the child that please count that the number of plates on the table, or count how many steps it will take to walk from the classroom to the library. Now, next comes assessment of learning. So, the assessment of learning should shift from rote memorization to competency-based assessment. Now, what is rote memorization? Rote memorization means just simply remembering the answers and writing them in the exam. Just simply remembering the answers that are given in the book. But a competency-based assessment means assessing the overall skills of the child, including the knowledge level. Now, this is what we follow here in our school. Children are not only given marks for the answers that they write in the exams, but also we see that whether the children is participating or not in the class, and what is the behavior of the child, and what extra skills the child has acquired during the session. So this is one of the important aspects under the new policy, and we are already in line with it. So based on this assessment, the report card that has to be prepared should be holistic. Now, holistic means it should contain all the information about the child, not only the marks of the child. At the end of the session, the parents also, they are eager to know that what extra qualities have their children acquired. So we need to mention the skills and competencies of the children also in the report card. So in conclusion, I would like to say that the importance of early childhood cannot be emphasized enough, and these are critical years for child's growth and development throughout life. And I'm very glad to say that here at SRCS, we follow almost all the provisions that are mentioned in the new policy and would continue to do so. That's all in my part. And now I would like to hand over the platform to Shalini ma'am to continue with the presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. The approach of Sri Ram is to focus on each and every child. Tagline of Sri Ram is to create a good human being. Thank you all. Without much delay, I hand over the platform to our next speaker, Priyanka ma'am.
Good afternoon, parents. I'm here to tell you more about the preparatory stage in detail. As you're already aware, the preparatory stage includes grades 3, 4, and 5, which covers the ages of 8 to 11 years. प्रिपरेटरी स्टेज के अंतर्गत 8 साल से लेकर 11 साल तक के बच्चे आएंगे, जिसमें कक्षा 3 से 5 तक के बच्चे शामिल हैं. Foundational literacy and numeracy is the most necessary prerequisite to learning in this stage. इस स्टेज में बच्चों की भाषा और संख्यात्मक कौशलता में विकास करना शिक्षकों का उद्देश्य होगा. To enable better understanding of Hindi and English language among the students, the basic focus shall lie on the following areas. Number 1, the ability to read and comprehend basic text. Number 2, storytelling based methods of teaching. Number 3, focus on reading, writing and speaking. Number 4, focus on phonetics or speech sounds. In case of mathematics, there will be an increased focus on the ability to perform basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with numbers. There will be regular use of puzzles and games to encourage the interest of children. There shall also be focus on problem solving and logical reasoning to ensure critical thinking. To tell you about the miscellaneous benefits of the new education policy, I hand over the platform to Ayushi ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here I am to discuss more about the miscellaneous benefits of the new education policy. So as you all know that we already had the education policy, लेकिन वो आज से 35 साल पुरानी पॉलिसी है. तो आज के समय में हमें जब अपडेट होना है, so this education policy is now helping us progress with the current technologies and updating all of us, and we are keeping everything in line. Again, as the other teachers have mentioned, we have already been doing many of these things which have been mentioned in the new education policy. As I'll be showing you in the presentation, there are a few pictures which I guess you will be able to relate, since you have been in relation with us for quite some time now. So you must be aware how we have been doing things in school and the provisions that we have in this new education policy, how they are in line with the current things that have been mentioned in this policy. Let me show you the presentation now. So some miscellaneous benefits of the NEP include continuous revision and assessment to assess the learning of the students. So we make sure that the students are understanding better with constant revision and constant assessment. We may think that itne sare exams ho rahe iski zarurat nahi hai, but after the completion of each chapter, we need to make sure that the child has understood everything well, and we need to assess that. So that is the reason why we revise and we keep on having assessments. Bilingualism, wherever possible, the medium of instruction will be the home language or the mother tongue, which is Hindi in our case, along with English as the main medium of instruction. So English जो हमारी foreign भाषा है, हमें वो सीखनी है, so हमें उसको रखना ही है, उसको, that is the main mode of instruction. उसके अलावा, since the child might not understand this new language, तो उसे समझाने के लिए we will use the Hindi language again, which we have been doing. We explain things to the students in Hindi as well as in English so that they understand the concept as well as understand the new language. Next is the activity-based learning, which makes the teaching and learning process a joyful experience. So we make sure that the children are understanding things in a better manner, the concepts are well understood if they do various activities. I'll just give you a few examples. Art integration makes learning fun. If we include things like art in other subjects like English or SST or science, it makes that subject more interesting. The child enjoys and to learn new things and new facts, and along with that they are pushed towards being more creative. So we are now including, and we have been including, art into other subjects. We are including it into other subjects, which makes activity more fun. Children learn better with hands-on approach. Hands-on approach means अपने से करके देखना कि वो क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है. बुक में बच्चे ने पढ़ लिया. Here we see it's a science activity. The child has learnt about the germination of seed. Theoretically, they have understood, okay, the seed grows into a plant. But how does it happen? That is how they can learn it, with the help of activity. They see it and then they know it. Practical learning is better learning. Here, as you can see in the picture, the children have made
a model of the earth for themselves. They know that the earth rotates. How does it rotate? There is an axis, there is an orbit. How and what, they will know it when they do it on their own. They enjoy it as well as they learn it. So practical learning is what we focus on. Interdisciplinary approach, again, we are, as you can see in the picture, the child is learning maths as well as SST. Here they are learning the data handling, as well as you can see food crops. They are learning about the various food crops. Again, this is an interdisciplinary approach. एक बार में हम एक सब्जेक्ट पे से फोकस नहीं कर सकते, हर चीज एक दूसरे से रिलेटेड है. ये हमें बच्चों को भी बताना है और यही उन्हें सिखाना है आगे. This shows that the child understands things better, and the smiles on their faces prove that they have understood the concept in a better manner. Aiming at the holistic development of the child. Holistic development will mean that सिर्फ हमें मार्क्स पे ध्यान नहीं देना है. हम, ये पुरानी सोच है कि हमें सिर्फ बच्चे को प्रॉपर बनाना है. That is not the case. हमें बच्चे को एक अच्छा इंसान बनाना है. That is the main focus right now. So with all the qualities, like here we see, we are teaching the child to be a compassionate person. They know how to care. They know how to spread happiness. They know how to share things with them, with their friends. Again, we are in the next picture, you can see there are table etiquettes, the basic table etiquettes. We also made sure that the child knows how to go about, even when they are eating, they know how to behave. Public speaking, which makes them more confident, and it reduces the stage fright. So all of this leads to the holistic development of the child. Experiential learning. Experiential learning, as we see, again, this is a science activity. Cotyledons के बारे में बच्चा सीख रहा है, but unless and until they do it, they don't learn it. वो experience करते हैं उसको कि एक seed में कितने cotyledons हैं, कितने parts में वो divide हो सकता है. That is how they learn it. That is experiential learning. Here also, we know that transpiration होता है. Children have learned it. But how do they understand the things? Unless and until they have seen it. Here they can see how the water is evaporating from the leaves, from the stomata, and how things are happening. So this all comes under experiential learning. Again, we are proud to announce that we have been doing it, and we will keep on doing this further as well. Learning at an early stage, making sure that the children experiment, do activities, and they make sure that they see things. For example, water vapor, air, these are the things we cannot see, but we are able to understand it with the help of various activities. Also, we make sure that the students are taken on field trips and excursions where they enjoy as well as they learn various things, like things related to geography, things related to science, things related to history. So museum, planetarium, science center, all these places we have been taken, we have taken students to, and they have enjoyed as well as learned many new things. Again, I would like to remind you that all these pictures are taken from the previous years. So right now you can see the children are sitting close together, but now since the school has reopened, we make sure that they are sitting quite apart and they are not sharing things, so that we make sure that all the rules and regulations and all the safety guidelines have been followed. To continue more about the miscellaneous benefits, I would now like to call upon Preeti ma'am. That will be all for this presentation.
नई शिक्षा नीति के तकनीकी इस्तेमाल पर विशेष ध्यान दिया गया है. सभी तरह के वैज्ञानिक एवं सामाजिक अनुसंधानों को नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन बनाकर नियंत्रित किया जाए. पढ़ाई में आधुनिक चलन वाले तकनीकों का इस्तेमाल कर शिक्षा का क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में कॉन्टेक्स्ट तैयार करना, वर्चुअल लैब, डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी, स्कूलों, शिक्षकों और छात्रों का डिजिटल संसाधन का लैस कराने की योजनाएं शामिल हैं. नए सुधारों में कंप्यूटर, लैपटॉप, फोन इत्यादि के जरिए विभिन्न ऐप का इस्तेमाल करके शिक्षण का रोचक बनाने की बात कही गई है. हमें कहते हुए गर्व महसूस हो रहा है कि कोरोना काल में हमारी प्रधानाचार्य महोदया स्मिता जोशी मैम ने लॉकडाउन में अपने शिक्षकों को विभिन्न वेबिनार के जरिए ऑनलाइन क्लासेस का सर्वोत्तम रूप से संचालित करने का गुण सिखाया है। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, यह क्लास हमें ऑनलाइन क्लास नहीं लग रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है कि बच्चे हमारे सामने बैठे हुए हैं। हमने बच्चों को गेमिफिकेशन के सभी विषय में मार्गदर्शन किया और स्वरचित ऑडियो, वीडियो, GIF से क्लास को इंटरेस्टिंग, इंफॉर्मेटिव और एंटरटेनिंग बनाया। आशा करते हैं कि भविष्य में भी हम किसी महामारी और प्राकृतिक आपदा में अब बच्चों की पढ़ाई व्यथित नहीं होने देंगे। SRCS टीम सदैव खुद को बेहतर से बेहतरीन बनाता रहेगा। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट चांदनी मैम to be here and tell us about other reforms in NEP 2020. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to all the viewers. I'm here to explain the NEP 2020 implications for classes 6 to 8, which is for the age group 11 to 14. The NEP 2020 has introduced the following aspects in the teaching and learning process, which includes innovative pedagogy, innovative methods of teaching, and methods that involve new ways of interaction between teacher and student. A certain innovation in practical activities. Next is integrated pedagogy, which includes arts, sports, storytelling, and ICT integrated pedagogy, that is introducing the learning of coding, promotion of peer tutoring, and bagless days. Next, NEP 2020 majorly aims at making learning skill-oriented for the students, that is focus on broad mental development with flexible curricula and creative combination of subjects. And for these developments, the courses introduced are carpentry, electric work, gardening, pottery making, etc. Practice-based curriculum, skill gap analysis, open distance learning mode, etc. Now, let's move on to the miscellaneous benefit of NEP 2020. National Education Policy is determined to enforce digital literacy, which is, okay, let me ask you, what is digital literacy? Digital literacy is the interest, attitude, and ability of individual to appropriately use digital technology. Why is it important? Digital literacy is an important topic because technology is changing faster than society is. Digital literacy includes artificial intelligence, the term coding. To explain this term, I'd like to call Soni ma'am. Ma'am, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be explaining about coding and artificial intelligence. As you know, we are living in the 21st century and the children are growing up in a digital era in which coding is a skill that can be used every day. Now, what is coding? Coding means using a language to give specific instructions in order to develop computer software, apps, video games, any website, etc. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence means creating a software that will think intelligently, just like a human mind. Now, there are some advantages of coding, like it promotes logical thinking, it fosters creativity, it develops resilience, and the most important advantage is that it provides many career opportunities, like becoming a software engineer, becoming a data analyst, data scientist, computer programmer, etc. Now, in order to imbibe these skills, Shriram Centennial School Patna is going to introduce a coding club in which full training of Python will be given. Now, what is Python? Python is a powerful programming language which will be used for web development, for data science, etc. Even Python is YouTube is fully based on Python. So you can understand like how much it is important. Even Python is the official, or we can say the recognized language at Google. Now, once again, Chandni ma'am is with us to throw some light on assessment reforms in NEP 2020. Thank you.
You're extremely sorry for the interruption. Now, coming to assessment and report card. The NEP 2020 emphasizes on transforming assessment for optimizing learning, and report cards are redesigned, which will be a holistic 360-degree multi-dimensional report. About this, to tell more about this, I'm going to invite Basundhara ma'am. Can you, yes ma'am. Basundhara ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Chandni ma'am. Till now, my colleagues have explained you all about the first three stages in the NEP 2020 program, which were 5 plus 3 plus 3. Now we'll move ahead with the fourth stage, that's the plus 4 stage, which is for the students of class 9, 10, 11 and 12. And it is for the age group 14 years onwards. So now let us understand that what this education policy is basically emphasizing upon. So it is emphasizing upon learning 21st century skills. Here at SRCS, we have been teaching the students in such a way wherein they are inculcating and imbibing all the qualities which are required to be fit for the 21st century. So as we all know that the curriculum itself has been designed considering all the 7 C's, which are confidence, critical thinking, curiosity, collaboration, creativity, compassion and commitment. So now in this NEP 2020, the government has also emphasized upon these 21st to inculcate 21st century skills in the students. See, the basic change which has taken place is that has shifted from the rote method to until the evaluation, like the evaluating method. So earlier the students were being taught wherein they had to memorize so many things. Now they have to understand, apply them in their real life also, and then create them, evaluate and analyze them in a way which fits in the day-to-day life. So that is the basic thing which is there in this new education policy. And the most important thing which we all need to understand is that all the subjects are interrelated, which again is a very basic thing, concept which has been inculcated here. So to emphasize more upon that interdisciplinary approach, we have Sangeeta ma'am with us.
Okay. Next slide, Sangeeta ma'am.
Good afternoon to all. I am here to explain interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary approach means that after a certain level, the subjects will overlap each other. It means all subjects are interrelated and segregation of one subject with the other is not possible. And students will also be taught in the same manner. For example, take the topic Indus Valley Civilization, which is taught in history. Now, geography teacher will teach where are the important places of Indus Valley Civilization located on the undivided map of India, what type of soil is found in that region, and which rivers flow there. The amazing roads, which used to be swept and cleaned by the blowing of winds, were all in either east-west direction or in north-south direction, and all the roads used to meet at 90-degree angle. Now here comes the role of maths, where students could be taught to make right angle. A student of architecture will study town planning and architecture of the cities of Indus Valley Civilization and how the city's roads were well planned and wide. Houses had efficient drainage system and ventilation. Again, the coins, seals and jewelry found indicate a well-developed metallurgy, a subject matter of chemistry. In economics, the concept of barter system can be taught as lots of coins and gains from different parts of the world have been found here, which indicate a well-developed commerce. This is how a single topic can be dealt by different subject teachers. Now I call Anu ma'am to discuss about 360-degree assessment.
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। जैसा कि अभी आप लोगों ने सुना इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच के बारे में, अभी हम लोग बात करेंगे 360 डिग्री मल्टी डायमेंशनल रिपोर्ट कार्ड फॉर ऑल स्टूडेंट्स, जिसके बारे में इस बार एनईपी ने ज़्यादा फोकस किया है। इसमें नया यही है कि बच्चों को सेल्फ असेसमेंट करने का मौका मिलेगा। असेसमेंट बाय द टीचर्स शुरू से चलता आ रहा है, वो रहेगा बिल्कुल। पीयर असेसमेंट का भी मौका दिया जाएगा, मतलब स्टूडेंट्स जिनके साथ पढ़ते हैं उन लोगों को भी उनको असेस करने का मौका मिलेगा। असेसमेंट बाय द पेरेंट्स, यहाँ पे पेरेंट्स को एक स्पेशल रोल दिया गया है। वैसे पेरेंट्स का स्पेशल रोल हमेशा से ही रहता है, लेकिन अभी इस पे ज्यादा एम्फेसिस दिया गया है, आपको भी एक स्पेशल रोल मिला है एज अ पेरेंट टू असेस योर चाइल्ड. School based assessment will be there. Now, home and school have been linked together. Multi-layered and multi-sources will be there. It will include progress of child in inquiry-based learning, quiz, role, play, group work, portfolios, etc. It has also covered the three important domains of learning, that is cognitive, affective, psychomotor. When we talk about psychomotor domain की जब हम लोग बात करते हैं तो उसमें कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ मसल्स एंड नर्व्स होता है, जैसे कि टाइपिंग के समय, ड्राइविंग के समय, डांसिंग के समय, इन सब चीजों का कोऑर्डिनेशन बहुत जरूरी है. तो क्या इस एज के बच्चे उन सब चीजों को कोऑर्डिनेट करके अपनी पकड़ वहां बना सक रहे हैं, इसको असेस करना. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट अफेक्टिव, जो उन्होंने लैंग्वेज लर्न किया है, वेदर इट इज हिंदी, इंग्लिश और एनी अदर लैंग्वेज जो उनको शुरुआत से पढ़ाई गई है, उसका वो इस्तेमाल करके अपने आप को, कॉन्सेप्ट्स को जो उन्होंने सीखा है उसको वो एक्सप्रेस कर पाते हैं या नहीं. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगा देखना इस अफेक्टिव लर्निंग में. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट कॉग्निटिव लर्निंग, उसमें बहुत सारे स्किल्स सिखाए जाते हैं बच्चों को. सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट, अभी हम लोग 21st सेंचुरी स्किल्स की बात कर रहे थे, प्रॉब्लम्स आर ऑल्सो ऑफ 21st सेंचुरी, तो हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने की स्किल्स जो है वो भी आनी चाहिए. तो बच्चों को इस एज में प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स आते हैं या नहीं, दिस कम्स अंडर कॉग्निटिव लर्निंग. हम उन्हें तैयार करते हैं लॉजिकल आर्ग्यूमेंट्स के लिए, डिबेट के लिए, जो कि काफी लॉजिकल होनी चाहिए. वी ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट अचीविंग गोल्स, जो गोल्स उन्होंने अपने लिए तैयार किए हैं उसको वो अचीव कैसे करेंगे, ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट होगा. दैट इज वाई वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज 360 डिग्री मल्टी डायमेंशनल रिपोर्ट कार्ड. नाउ, एनईपी की सारांश को समझने के लिए मैं अपनी साथी नीलम मैम को इनवाइट करना चाहूंगी. मैम, ओवर टू यू नाउ.
नमस्कार, मैं आप लोगों के सामने नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति को बताने जा रही हूँ. राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 4 वर्गों में विभाजित है: फाउंडेशन चरण, प्रिपरेटरी चरण, मिडिल चरण एवं सेकेंडरी चरण. फाउंडेशन चरण, इसमें आयु वर्ग 3 से 8 वर्ष शामिल है तथा कक्षा किंडरगार्टन 1 एवं 2 शामिल है. बच्चों को इस चरण में खेल खेल में और क्रियाविधि के द्वारा अध्ययन कराया जाएगा. यह शिक्षण विद्यार्थी केंद्रित होगा. बच्चों को नैसर्गिक रूप से सीखने के लिए प्रेरित किया जाएगा. बच्चों को उनकी मातृभाषा में भी सिखाया जाएगा अगर आवश्यकता हुई तो. दूसरा चरण प्रिपरेटरी चरण है. इसमें आयु वर्ग 8 से 11 वर्ष शामिल है और कक्षा 3, 4 एवं 5 सम्मिलित है. इसमें बच्चों को प्रायोगिक शिक्षण विधि द्वारा अध्ययन कराया जाएगा, अर्थात विद्यार्थी इसमें अनुभव के आधार पर समझ विकसित करेंगे. कोई भी चीज याद करके या जो लिखी हुई है उस पर केंद्रित नहीं करेंगे. इस चरण में बच्चों को क्रियाकलाप द्वारा समझ विकसित की जाएगी. विद्यार्थी को याद करके पढ़ने के स्थान पर विषय वस्तु को समझेंगे और आगे बढ़ेंगे. तीसरा चरण मिडिल चरण है. इसमें आयु वर्ग 11 से 14 वर्ष शामिल है तथा कक्षा 6, 7 एवं 8 सम्मिलित है. इस चरण में विद्यार्थियों को उनके आवश्यकता अनुसार शिक्षण विधि का प्रयोग किया जाएगा. व्यावसायिक शिक्षा पर बल दिया जाएगा. विद्यार्थी अपनी पसंद के अनुसार व्यावसायिक पाठ्यक्रम का चयन करेंगे और निर्धारित मानदंडों के अलावा रोजगार उन्मुख होंगे. उनको बहुविषयक और बहुआयामी बनाया जाएगा. विभिन्न विद्यार्थियों के लिए उनके अनुरूप शिक्षण और प्रशिक्षण शैली का प्रयोग किया जाएगा। चौथा चरण है सेकेंडरी चरण। यह 2 भागों में विभाजित है। प्रथम भाग में नवम एवं दशम की कक्षा है। द्वितीय भाग में 11वीं और 12वीं की कक्षा शामिल है। इस चरण में विद्यार्थियों को शिक्षण के साथ साथ कौशल का विकास किया जाएगा ताकि वह उन्नत भविष्य की तरफ अग्रसर हो सकेंगे। मूल्यांकन विधि में स्वयं छात्र, उनके माता पिता, उनके मित्र और शिक्षक शामिल होंगे, जिसके कारण उनका एक समग्र विकास हो सके और एक पूर्ण व्यक्तित्व का निर्माण हो सके। हम नई शिक्षा नीति के साथ साथ बच्चों के उज्जवल भविष्य की कामना करते हैं। इस शिक्षा नीति के कुछ मुख्य बिंदु हैं जिन पर आपका ध्यान आना अति आवश्यक है। इसके लिए मैं सभा मैम को आमंत्रित करती हूँ।
Camera only. Hello everyone. This seminar come webinar is coming to an end now, as my co-teachers have very nicely explained all the salient features of the NEP along with our respected principal ma'am. So let's sum up the main points of this NEP 2021 and the implementations that has been over here in our school. So the major points that is that foundational stage. It starts from the foundational stage, which is the pre-primary stage, that is the from the earliest school, the Anganwadi, and the 1 and 2. In that, the numeral literacy is there, and the in identification of numbers and alphabets are basically there. Moving on, there are the hands-on activities and etc., where the children learn by seeing and doing things. Moving on, some certain vocational courses were added in the 6 to 8, the middle stage, as was explained by our teacher Chandni ma'am, and Soni ma'am very rightly said that the digital thing is also very important for us, and it has been emphasized a lot in the NAP, and it is in our curriculum also, and it is very important, and it is a coding club is being introduced in our school, so that is a very important part of it. Next, in the higher stage, that is the secondary stage, the assessment part and evaluation part and the interdisciplinary approach is there. So overall, the NAP points are very nicely being implemented over here. All the points and all the explanatory things and all the curriculum and extracurriculum, as has been told by the CBSE, that there's no hard and fast distinction between the curricular, the extracurricular, and the curricular co-curricular thing. So it has to be very clearly inculcated in the students that they don't just have to study and study, they have to go for the all-round development. That's all in this session. We like to look at in a glance what SRCS is actually taking on their students. Let's look at the video. that was all in today's webinar. One request is there, please like our Facebook page. We'll keep on updating with the current events that goes on in our school premises and all the activities. So please like so that you can follow our page and keep updated with the events that goes on within our school. Kindly like and share. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much.